Alright, I've got a video breaking down the first controller player to qualify for World Cup. This is week 3 solos. This Unknown Army, he got third in NA East. It should a really pop off game this game, and I'm going to be going through the whole game. Mostly his end game performance where he fragged out right here. But basically just showing his patience early game. This guy over here was a bit concerned because he heard a ball. Obviously Unknown Army lands on a ball. That's how you win the game. He's a bit concerned he heard the ball. Unknown Army just sat on that roof for about a minute and as soon as the guy made a mistake not closing his edit as he left, he got the elim. I'm going to skip forward to his next kill just here. I think Unknown Army, his biggest strength is mostly his game sense of when to go up or down a level, as well as his box fighting. Box fighting is the most crucial skill you can have here. You can see he actually gets on the high ground on this guy, puts poison and a dart trap on the other side of this guy, holds him in, and he's dead. That's quite a bad example of box fighting, so the guy just got stuck under the stairs. However, I'll skip forward to the next elim mid-game. This is sort of a bad fight for Unknown Army to take it. She gets beamed. And he's actually extremely good at box fighting. You can watch here. Alright, you can see right now somebody pressuring his walls as he goes for a mini. Gets a counter pump. Not the best counter pump, but he gets it off, and yet that sort of puts the opponent away. And then again here, you can see the opponent holding the stair at it. Unknown Army goes for an aggressive window at it again. Just like that. Aggressive window at it. Waits for the opponents. They both have right hand peeks, so he doesn't really want to peek that. Waits for them to pressure. And as soon as the opponent peeks, this other opponent's actually quite good. Opponent doesn't obviously want him to get his minis off. As soon as the opponent gets the window off, he swings. He's swinging the whole time he's peeking there. Obviously, he's just moving his joystick to the side, and he can make it hard for the opponent to hit the shot, and he doesn't get shot back in return. I'm going to skip forward to the endgame. The endgame's quite boring for him, mainly because he drops on a ball, and he just sits in the ball. However, when he does get out of the ball, he's an absolute monster. This is the same with a lot of people who play balls, like Funk and Loboom, Core Gaming. Everybody, they all play balls to get placement, and they get out the ball, and then they win the game, or they get a lot of kills while trying to win the game. Alright, right now you can see the strength of box fighting. This opponent tries landing next to him and taking his wall, gets a pump on him, and these aggressive stairs into the box make it so hard for this opponent to move, thinking the stairs laterally like this. You can get the edit. This edit, basically, it funnels the opponent. They can only be within this square here. As you can see, I'm moving my mouse around. Makes it very hard for them to do anything, and you can just get a shot on them just like that. And he gets back in the ball and gathers all the mats and then gets out. I'm going to skip forward to when his ball gets actually broken. Obviously, playing these placement points, there's still a bunch of people left. He wants to get the top 15. Okay, right here, again, going up a level as soon as his ball gets broken. And these are all his walls. And he realizes, I can go for an aggressive edit here. It's a big pump. And again, closing the window edits and re-editing the windows each time. An opponent gets out in his box. He goes to the double traps on them. Blocks them in. Edits as soon as they go in. Right here, this is just him hitting all his shots. Doing an extremely good job of hitting all his shots, making sure they're big pumps. Even with a green pump, he's hitting 95 bodies every single time. Very important. Okay. Right now, you can see, this is something that you've got to understand is, if you're like going into these ninth circles where it fully closes, you can't be mid-ground on these ninth circles. If you're mid-ground, you're going to get shot by the low-ground people and shot by the high-ground people. So you can see his decision. He drops ultimate low, takes low-ground for himself, and the other opponent also drops low. Good window edit again. This is quite a cheeky edit here. It's just the side of the window to crawl through. And this allows him to get a clean right-hand peek on the opponent as they come round. Again, holding the guy in Storm, he realizes there's another opponent above. He doesn't want to get pinched, so he places a floor, very clever. Waits for the opponent to make the edit. Opponent makes the mistake of going for it. Not much they could do in that situation. Again, right here, you can see the Storm actually rising up this sort of like low incline. He has to go up here. And you can see, good decision making. He tanks in Storm to get behind this opponent. And again, he's still stuck mid-ground. Mid-ground, as I was saying, is a bad position to be in. You can't win the heal game on mid-ground because you're going to get pressured by people. Unless everybody else is healing and you've better heals than them. And you can see here, gets the double ahead of this guy. I will just go from drone for a second. Mainly because this is quite intelligent. So you can see here, I've got the player outlines on. As he tanks Storm, he realizes he can't be mid-ground. There's a player here. There's also players flying and high ground and stuff. He has to kill the guy low ground as well as to get his health back. So he goes ahead of him. These double edits ahead that I talk about with Aspect, he does this a lot. Gets the double edit ahead. The opponent has to come up to the incline, and he can just double edit down. Double it down, gets a shot on the back, just like that. Easy elim. Again, clean edits. This is where it also becomes a bit scuffed because he's got no white heals to actually play Storm. He has to go for an aggressive play. He sort of fumbles his builds as he comes around here. But this going into Storm gets an unexpected angle on this guy, gets a big pump on them. However, unfortunately, because he was lower health, the opponent survived for an extra 1 tick in Storm, and he was getting blocked off by the opponent's builds, and then the opponent dies a second later without him getting the health. So the opponent dies and the high ground guys wins. But just tanking Storm at the very end there, trying to go for an aggressive pick. Getting a pick late, when let's say you're 40 HP and you kill a guy, you're back at 90. You're going to beat the guy who's campfiring. You're going to beat the guy who's bandaging just because you get that 50 siphon. It's really crucial. Ultimately, this game, you couldn't really win it with no white heals. You had to go for an aggressive play. But well played. You got a lot of kills. You got 9 kills. And this is basically what qualified him for first controller player to do it.